What's going on, people? So, real quick before we go getting on into these, you see this here shirt maybe some of you guys pay attention to that stuff. I'm trying to break out more of the band shirts, right? This one, Dropkick Murphys, as you may have noticed now that I've drawn attention to it, which was the first show that I saw back in merry old England. I want to say it was at Rock City in Nottingham, where I also saw Hailstorm and In This Moment, and some sort of weird festival that was like indoors but spread out through different buildings. It was awkward, but it was really good though. Just awkward. But anyways, if you happen to have any favorite songs by them or something, other than Shipping Up to Boston, because I think that's the one that most people know. But if you know other ones, go ahead and leave a comment or something like that. I don't know what's going on out there, but I tell you, people around here like to have like the loudest of cars for some reason. It's like they need all the attention so you can know, like, oh, somebody's going somewhere. You don't necessarily have to care, but they want you to know. I guess that's what they're going for. If you're one of those people, let me know. Maybe you have that insider perspective, because I don't. My car is like quiet, as they should be. Moving on. These right here. I bought these from Asics.com for $79-ish because they were on sale. They were normally like $110, but they were marked down, and I took advantage of that because I like the gel-lyte 3 and I like green. And wouldn't you know, this is the best of both worlds, right? Well, I don't know, I might like that other pair better if you saw the review from earlier, but whatever. I bought these and I like them. So now I'm going to tell you guys all about them. This right here, I don't know if the side of this says a color. It just says Khaki and Khaki, which I don't quite agree with, but who am I to argue with the box, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and knock this little review out right here on these Asics gel-lyte 3s in Khaki and Khaki. Naturally, we're going to start this thing with the bottom. Down there, what you're looking at is one of the best things you'll ever see, and I say that only because it's a gum bottom, and I'm a huge fan of the gum bottoms. Otherwise, it's nothing fancy about it. It's pretty much the same look as that last pair that I did. So there's that for you. Switching on up here to the midsole and all that good stuff. Pretty much the same thing as the last one. Again, just this one's white, right? Still very plain. Nothing really going on. Not at all. And a little bit of an Asics logo down on the side there. So there's that for you. Now, switching over to the upper, because that's where this one kind of shines, where it differs from the others, right? And not just because it's a different color, it's just different, right? Which sometimes is good. Let's find out if this is one of those good differences or one of those bad differences. So, down here around the toe box and really around this whole lower region, right? When you look at this thing, you're going to see the standard green color, but if you look a little bit closer, you kind of see it's almost got like a scaly sort of crocodile style sort of thing going on down there. Maybe alligator, I'm not sure. I feel like they both look the same, other than the nose thing, the mouth thing. But either way, down here you got that going on, right? So that's pretty much just all around the shoe. You've got it down here on the middle section for the most part, and then around here on the back as well, swooping all the way back around. I think it kind of gives it a nice touch, you know? It's a little different, like I said before. Now, outside of that though, and that as far as the feel goes, it feels nice. I'm not going to say it's like anything crazy premium or whatever, but it's a pretty good feel to me, right? You might agree if you ever get a pair. And then down here, of course, they do have those little 2 dots or squares or whatever that is. I guess they're more like rectangles or something. But either way, you got that going on. They may be 3M, they may not be. I'll figure that out later. So there's that for you. Now above that though, this toe box. Now I did a I did an unboxing of these on my live that I did yesterday, right? And I was telling the people, I'm like, people, check this out, right? This is super soft down in here. Could they tell? Probably not, because it's not a great webcam, and StreamYard only does so much as far as the HD goes. But hopefully I'm able to get some pictures in there on this actual review that show you just how nice this is down in here. If not, go on Asics.com and buy a pair, and then you'll be like, oh dude, you were right. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. So anyways, moving on. Around here, you got kind of the same sort of material, just not as nice, you know, but not to say it's bad, it's just not as nice as the toe box. And then that kind of just continues on through the rest of the shoe. And somewhere down in here, you do kind of have a little bit of the gold as well, right? Kind of playing off of what you see on the lace holders things. But it's not on the whole logo, it's only on the back side for whatever reason. And then also, speaking of the back side, they do have some gold back there as well. So I think these colors kind of work out pretty well together. Now, finishing things off on the outside, you do have this sort of sock liner booty type of vibe going on, right? Now on the other pairs, it's often like a nylon sort of thing, at least the ones that I've had. This time around, they went with like a mesh, kind of like you might see on the toe box of like a lot of Air Maxes and things like that, right? So you got that going on. Feels very thick, very soft, you know. It's kind of thick to this point to where it's probably not going to be the best summer shoe, but we'll come back to that if I remember. Anyways, moving on to the back, right? So you get this whole nice, very plush feeling all the way around. So you're probably going to be feeling pretty good wearing these. And then finishing things off with this visually wise, jumping down onto the inside, all you have down there is pretty much just your Asics logo on the same khaki green color insole. And so that pretty much concludes everything, right? I'm sure I've shown you enough pictures and whatnot to really kind of drive home what this shoe looks like. Not that it takes more than one to get this thing in your head, because it's very simple, but I usually break out a lot of pictures for reasons that don't quite make sense to me, but I do it because I guess I've just been doing it for so long that it's a thing I do now. Another thing that I like to do, usually right about now, is talk about the sizing. So we're going to do that. The sizing of these, right? I said in the last one that I buy my shoes in a 9.5 because that's my true to size, right? Bought that in these. Works out perfectly, right? It really does. So what that means to you, maybe that's enough. But if you're not quite sure, I would go again and compare these fit-wise to like the Air Max 90s and 1s and things like that. I know that's a pretty common shoe. So if you have one of those, to me, these fit pretty much the same. So there's that for you. But again, those 3 magic words, true to size, that's what works for me. Maybe it'll work out for you. If it doesn't, feel free to let me know. People always do. Now, as far as the comfort and all this stuff goes with wearing these things, this particular pair, right? Don't get me wrong, they're super comfortable. They've got that same gel-lyte 3 vibe you would expect. However, given that these are slightly different materials, they do feel a little bit, I don't know, a little bit warmer for one, not so breathable, right? Because of the materials. And again, because of that slight shift in materials, the upper may not be as comfortable as the other ones. But again, they're just generally more breathable. This is like, imagine like a premium style or whatever. But past that, if you're just looking at the overall, again, I generally would compare the Air Max 90 to this, right? I kind of want to give the edge to these, honestly. The Recrafts are a very tough competitor, but overall, I kind of want to give the edge to these. But at the end of the day, comparing the two, it's almost like, do you go see Bad Religion or do you go see Anti-Flag, right? They're both going to give you a good show, so you can't go wrong either way. You just pick your poison and just go with it. Or you just do both if you can, make both shows. But anyways, that kind of really sums up everything about this shoe, I believe. I know I got off on some tangents, but I feel like I still hit all my points that I needed to make. So, personal opinions, of course, I'll get those to you right now. I like these. I'm not sure I like them as much as the other pair just because I do kind of like that suede a little bit more. But it's nice to have something a little bit different, and as a big fan of green, I'm very inclined to buy green shoes when the price is right. And again, this price, pretty solid. So no complaints there. And again, even though this type of material does kind of adjust the comfort level just a little bit, just a smidge, they're still worth having, right? Don't let me make them sound bad to you because they're not bad. They're just not as good as the good ones. Does that make sense? If not, play it back a couple times. Eventually, you'll be on board. But for now, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm done with recording reviews for today, minus the on feet. So I'm gonna go do the gym thing, come back, do some on feet thing, edit a video for tomorrow about some Air Max 2 lights. Got a whole day ahead of me, and it's only 3:30. Oh man, it's gonna be a late night possibly. You don't care about that, do you? Later, people.